All right, and here he is in robot mode, out of the package. It is Continuum HEXATRON. He looks very cool. He comes with a nicely painted little bio card with his stats on the back. I don't know if those have changed from the original or not. And also inside the package, I mentioned, like inside the clear box, there was this nicely painted Starscape on the back. And on the inside, once you get him out, there's the really cool, the all 6 modes art on the grid inside. And this is actually the instruction manual. You open it up and there's all the instructions for the figure itself, which is pretty cool. So just a minor brief note there on the packaging. And you can see now that he is, he's updated. He's got a new, slightly more G1 looking head. It doesn't look nearly as awkward. Like when I first saw pictures of it compared to the original HEXATRON head, it looked almost too square, but it actually looks really cool here in person and on the figure. You can see he's got updated wings. He no longer has the shuriken. They're just chromed hubcaps. And he does not have the swords and the scabbards. The little hinges are still there. So if you have swords from the other one, or if you get the stag cleavers and want to plug them in there, he does still have those attachment points, but he doesn't have the actual swords and scabbards. And his guns this time are a little bit more G1 looking and chromed. And again, I've gone on. I have issues with chrome on a lot of things. Much like I did a Fans Toys review of Soar earlier, and much like this one, I don't mind it so much on this one. I'm generally not a big fan of chrome, but on this, because it's not like super shiny chrome, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know how else. You can kind of see it. It's got a slight tint to it that kind of tones down. It's not just a bright silver. It's not like the Dazzling Glory set. It's got almost kind of a purplish rose tint to it. It's very, very subtle. It's very, very light, but it's just enough to kind of take the edge off the shine and give the weapons and the hubcaps a nice burnished look. It's really really nice looking in person. Like when I first saw that they were doing this and I saw he had chrome guns, I'm like, I almost kind of wish I had just the plain white guns from the original, or the off-white guns from the original release, because they would match the old G1 toys weapons. But the really nice job on the chrome on this guy. And he's got all the standard posability that HEXATRON did. He's not significantly changed aside from, like, the teal is kind of a nice, it almost looks like it may be painted on. It's almost like a nice lacquery. It may just be the plastic they use, but it's kind of a nice shiny teal thing. The purple's brighter. It has some gold detailing here in his legs. It's just a really nice, the wings are kind of a pale bluish gray. Looks amazing. I think this may be the 6 shot I wanted from the get-go without realizing it. But yeah, Lee retains all the same transformation and articulation. It's the same figure, just minus the swords with a couple of remolded parts. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire transformation through all 6 modes on camera, but I will take a few minutes here, swap them around between the modes, and show off what the new one looks like. A lot of it is not super different from the original HEXATRON. A lot of the most visible differences, aside from the color, are right here in robot mode with the new head and the new chest wings. There is detailing on both sides of those as well. You got the tech detailing on the inside, and then the flat black. I think that's my only problem with this current version is the ones in the original were a little thinner and came over, so you could still kind of see his face. If you fold these up in robot mode here, his head kind of gets hidden behind them. But they look really nice folded out here in robot mode. So we'll go ahead and get him off camera. We'll get started on turning him into the various alt modes. All right, and here he is in his winged wolf mode, which is pretty cool. Again, not a whole lot of real visible issues aside, or not issues, but changes from the standard one versus the colors. I will say one of the things that I find really nice is, on top of the fact that these have been chromed, they go in and out of the peg holes very easily. Like a lot of times when you take a weapon that's designed for a figure and chrome it, you end up having some issues getting you into the ports because that chrome adds an extra layer, and that's already been taken into account, it seems, on this, because it doesn't even feel like, oh, I've got to force it in here. They go in and out very smoothly, and that was really nice to see. I'm always a little worried when I see weapons that are chromed that have to fit into specific ports. And these go in very nicely. It's very easy to, they're tight enough that they don't feel loose, but they also are not, like you said, I'm not exerting any effort to push it in there. It just kind of sits right in, and it's almost perfect, the amount of resistance it has in that hole. So that's not, it's nice that was accounted for, that extra chrome, because that's definitely led to some issues before. I mean, I especially, like, I know Ferrorex had some issues with the pegging a couple of the pieces, like the tail pieces, onto the back of Leoducks, because the chrome added a layer, and some of them were too tight, and they made it a little bigger, and some of them were too loose. But this feels just right. So yeah, there's his winged wolf mode. And here is his armored car mode. And again, not a whole lot, aside from the color scheme changes, not a whole lot of difference from the original. Now, granted, again, if you had the swords, you'd have them plugged in here as a couple of extra guns. But yeah, armored car. Now, this is plugged in up here. I generally like, for armored car mode, I generally like to pull that back to there. That's personal preference. I just like having the cab a little further back. It looks safer if you want to use that to ram somebody. But yeah, you can have that cockpit in either position. So yeah, just a quick turnaround there. And there's armored car mode. And here is his eminently whooshable Starship mode. One of my favorite modes. Like this, the tank, and the robot mode, I think, are really what I really love about him. He does have the little fold-up landing skids. You don't have to have those down, but just a cool-looking starship. Look at Starfighter, Starship, who knows? With cockpit that big in relation to the ship itself, probably more of a fighter, but a large fighter. But yeah, that's cool Starship mode. And here is the pistol mode. Now, this is the official pistol mode from the instructions, with the guns here on top and the kind of pointy laser ray end. And it's a fun little pistol you can hold in your hand there. You can, as evidenced previously, you can fold these up, flip the legs around, and plug the guns into the end of the leg to give him more of a G1-esque laser pistol. This is how the instructions show it. That's how I'm showing it off. But there are some fan modes. And then there's a boat mode. There's all sorts of alternate fan modes for this guy as well. But you can give him more of a G1 pistol look. This is the way it's officially shown off. So yeah. Pew, 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 pew. And finally, another one of my personal favorite alt modes. Let me snap this together here real quick. The tank mode. That just looks like it's going to mess you up. And again, not very different from the original, aside from colors. And again, because you don't have the swords, you don't have those little extra scabbards / guns that, kind of came up through here. But for the most part, you can have the wheels down, you can roll them in like that. But I call it the turtle tank. It looks like it probably moves really slow, but could wreck you with all the claws and guns and pointy bits. But yeah. So there is Continuum HEXATRON, a very, very nice, if you haven't picked up HEXATRON yet, great one to get. Do you need to upgrade if you already have Terminus HEXATRON in any one of his previous forms? It depends on what you want. I would say yes. I feel like this finally, with the really G1-esque color scheme and detailing on a few parts, really sells it for me in a way that, like, there was nothing wrong with the first one. I love the original, but I just like this one more. I love the gold detailing on the legs. It just seems like a lot more care has been put into this one to make it more more of an updated G1 figure. And like I said, the packaging is gorgeous. The figure itself looks amazing. All the colors are very vibrant and pop, and just he's got something, like I said, the glossy teal, the off white. He just feels a little bit more of a G1 update to me. So yeah, Continuum HEXATRON R-01C, I believe is his designation. Let me check. Yeah, R-01C from Mastermind Creations. Definitely worth picking up, especially if you have not had a version of this mold previously. Definitely recommend it.